Hey again, second grade. We know that we're constantly learning and building on knowledge that we already have. And we know that great readers review things they've already learned to be able to build that new knowledge on top of it. So today, as great readers, we're going to be able to recall key facts and details about the US back when it was young, before the War of 1812. And we're going to get to do that on another episode of What's Going On in Young America? I'm your host, Miss Bowden. Today, I will ask you a question about the United States leading up to 1812. It's over 200 years ago. You're gonna read the question and answers. Then, think back to that knowledge lesson with Miss Speed. Once you remember those knowledge lessons, choose the answer that you think is correct. After you select your answer, you'll go ahead to the next video to see if you were correct. Let's go ahead and click to the next slide to see your first question. The first three presidents, George Washington, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson, did you get that right? They wanted the US and Great Britain to be friends again. When George Washington, the very first president, was president, the US and Great Britain signed a treaty called Jay's Treaty, where the British promised not to interfere or mess with the US's business. All right, click to your next question. The US and Great Britain loved making trades by sending ships back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean. But then Napoleonic Wars began, and France and Great Britain became enemies. The US didn't want to get involved since it valued both France and Great Britain. But when the British started threatening ships, cargo, and sailors, the US couldn't ignore it. Did you get that one right? The British were threatening the US ships going across the Atlantic. Click to your next question. Even though Great Britain had lost the 13 colonies to America, it still controlled land in the North United States and in what we now call Canada. The British had forts along the northern border, and the US figured out that the British were trying to prevent the US settlers from moving north. The way they did that was by helping Native Americans fight the Americans who were trying to settle on their land. Did you get that one right? All right, on to the next one. In 1811, many Native Americans fought to remove settlers from their land. They did this in the Battle of Tippecanoe. You get that one right? The US Army fought back, and the Americans had reason to believe that the Native Americans had gotten their weapons from the British. Nice work, second grade. Let me know how you did on our game show, and kiss your brain. You just remembered so many key facts and details about the US leading up to the War of 1812. As we keep reading our new reader next week, we'll be set up for success as we build on some new knowledge of what was happening in young America. Now, it's time to show what you know. Using the information we just went over, you're going to go into your quiz on the next slide, and you're going to read each question and the answer choices. Then you're going to go back to your video. You can go rewatch it if you want and find the answer from today's lesson. Finally, you're going to choose the answer that's correct and go to the next question. Go get them, second grade.